Hello students, this is our lecture number 12 of the leadership theories. And in the last three, we have been studying the 21st century leadership theories, and our today's chapter would be on C Maxwell leadership thoughts. I'm Dr. Ayaz Muhammad Khan, Director, Division of Education, University of Education, Lahore. John C. Maxwell not only gave leadership theory, but as a matter of fact, he has developed a full-fledged leadership paradigm of his thoughts. He is an American expert and is a speaker, author, and minister who has composed numerous books in the field of leadership. Most of his books usually are bestsellers, and you can see that John C. Maxwell, has written over 70 books and sold more than 19 million copies. Rendering to Maxwell, we can say that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. The best book I have read. Okay, dear students, let's start with some of the quotes, rather famous quotes by C Maxwell. You will be astonished that in a single line, he has described the whole philosophy of leadership. The paradigm which he has developed. Uh, the word of leadership owes a great debt to this great person of the 21st century. Just look at the first one, which states leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Not only he must have the vision, he must know how to reach or achieve that vision, and he must be a torch bearer for others. Just look at the second one, which states people buy into the leaders before they buy into the vision. There must be a charisma in your personality that the people love to follow you. Then the third one, people never care how much you know until they know how much you care. I mean, a leader must have a very caring attitude for the followers. Similarly, a good leader is a person who takes a little more than his share of the blame and little less than his share of credit. I mean, being a leader, you shouldn't boost off your success. I mean, if your success is 40, you can take credit of 20 to 25. Leave credit to your followers. The greatest mistakes we make in living is constant fear that will make one. So, he just want us to get out of that fear zone. The greatest day in your life and mine is when we take total responsibility for our attitude. That's the day we truly grow up. Here is the glimpse of some of his books, but once you switch over to YouTube or Google and just write down the names of the book of C Maxwell, you would have all those 76 books. They are gem, though some of which I have given you here. Good leaders are asked great questions, 360 leaders, then developing the leaders within you, and some irrefutable qualities of a leader. We cannot cover the John C. Maxwell's work in just one lecture. So what I have decided that I would just tell you, number one, the influence, the four level of influence described by C Maxwell, and then we will switch over to 5 types of leadership, and then some irrefutable laws of leadership. Though many more important things which we could have done are missing now, but in a lecture of for 30 to 40 minutes, it is hard to cover such a great work. So let's see 4 levels of influence by C Maxwell. The very first one is modeling. Observe how children naturally follow what their parents do, not what they say. Adults are also influenced by what they see their role model, mentors, and peers do. So, being a leader, if you wish to influence others, you got to inculcate those characteristics in you, and you got to remember all the times that your followers are following you. The second one is motivation, motivating. This level of influence, I mean, if you are a leader, you got to have this characteristics of influencing other. So that sort of influence which you have, it requires a more up close approach. You influence others by encouraging them and by communicating with them on an emotional level. uh, this is the important thing. This approach establishes connection and builds up people's confidence. Level number three of influencing is mentoring. Helping others reach their potentials is the goal of a mentor. Being leader, if you want to have good influence on your subordinates, you should be the person who tries to develop their potential. So when you will develop their potential, you will act as a mentor. In this level, you need to be more focused on the individuals whom you want to influence. You give more of yourself to your protege and help that person grow personally and professionally to reach a higher level of living. Similarly, the last one is multiplying. Ask you work on positively influencing other people. You should aim for them to become positive influencer as well. Not only you will influence them, but being a leader or mentor, inculcate in them the ability of influencer themselves. So not only you produce them as a leader, but they would uh, follow that chain and bring more and more leaders in the arena. So see, in his one of the book, he has described five levels of leaders. They start from down to up. The very first one is position. People follow you because they have to, because you have that position where you can influence and people follow you. The second one is permission. People follow you because they want to. Third one is production. People follow because of what you have done for the organization. People development, people follow because of what you have done for them, not only for organization but for them. And pinnacle, people follow you because of who you are and what you represent. And this is the level of respect, as a matter of fact. The first, or we can say that bottommost level of leadership on Maxwell model is position. At this level, leaders rely generally on their title or position to motivate employees to follow. Coercion and autocratic styles to leadership are conjoined at this level. Most of our bosses, by the dint of uh, rules and regulation, they are our bosses, and we have to follow them. And if we don't follow them, they actually are in a position to use coercion and autocratic styles. But in a nutshell, we can say that the position level is a level which we have to follow willy-nilly. The second level is permission level of leadership. In spite of the fact that it's just the second of five level, the transfer from level 1 to 2 in Maxwell model is foremost. At the permission level, workers take after your administration since they decide to, not on the grounds that they are compelled to. I mean, the workers in the organization have to follow you because you have that uh, that authority by the dint of rules and regulation. But in that second phase of permission, besides your particular position, people, as a matter of fact, start respecting you because of the way you administer things, and they mentally decide that they would follow you. At the first level, they were not mentally, but by the dint of law. But here, they have mentally decided, they have seen something within you. Production level of leadership. At the production level, leaders have accomplished viability by building and keeping up a high performance association. You know, when there is a very good relationship between leader and subordinates, when leader cares about the relationship, side by side with the task. So there comes in the mind of subordinates that uh, we can become like, because you are in a position, as we have already read, the influence. So this was the influence that you have left, and now they are respecting you a step ahead on the third level of leadership level, which is called as production level of leadership. Now people not only follow you, but as a matter of fact, they try to inculcate those characteristics among them as well. People development level of leadership. The best errand of authority is to create more innovators. John Maxwell says there is no accomplishment without a successor. I mean, if you are a leader and you die and you haven't produced many more leaders like you, it means your leadership style was not good enough. So, in fourth stage, now you are in a position to create or develop many more leaders like you who follow you and produce many more leaders as well. This I would associate with Maslow's hierarchy of need, the top level, which we call usually self actualization. So, pinnacle level of leadership is very much close to that one. The fifth and the uppermost level in Maxwell levels of leadership has been mentioned to as either personhood or pinnacle. At this level, the leaders have turned out to be notable inside his industry or organization. In light of his status in the association, workers will do basically anything he makes a request to satisfy him. I mean, this is the level where people follow you, whatever you ask them to do. As a matter of fact, they believe in your credibility, they believe in your vision, they believe that you can do whatever you want to do, and they believe that you care for them a lot. Dear students, let's talk about some of the irrefutable laws. I mean, he has written that book, very important book, where he has given 21st irrefutable laws of leadership. We'll get over it one by one. The very first one is called as the law of lead. What does this mean? Leadership ability to determine a person's level of effectiveness, how much effective you are. And if you are at level 8, the highest your organization go is 7. This is called as law of lead. The law of influence. The more influence you have on your subordinates in a positive way, the better it would be. The law of process. Leadership develops daily, not only do. You got to think. You know, we have already discussed it in our leadership lecture while we were defining that this leadership is evolutionary in its essence. It develops day by day. That is why we call it process. It cannot be developed overnight, rather it would take years and years. Then we talk about law of navigation. uh, Anyone can steer a ship, but it takes a leader to take you to the destination. So, being a leader, you got to know what you really want to do with your organization. Then plan ahead, it proactively thinking. Then law of addition, leaders add value by serving others. Law of solid ground, you go, whenever you make decisions, that decisions must be based on solid grounds. Law of respect. A leader not only wish respect for himself, but also he must be giving respect to all his followers. The law of intuition. What do we mean by intuition? Leaders look at everything differently than others. This is an additional ability that leader has got, and they evaluate everything according to their leadership biases. Then comes the law of magnetism. Who you are is who you attract, and you have the ability to attract the people towards yourself. The law of connection. The more connection you have got, the more good leadership style you would be having. The law of inner circle. See how many people, especially good people, are in your inner circle, and in how many circles you are a part of. The law of empowerment. One secures leaders, give powers to others. Uh, the concept of Diana Tracy, where he says that you got to trickle down your powers to the grassroots level. The law of the picture. What does it mean? People do what people see. If you are not doing good, people won't do good. So people just took you as a role model. The law of buy-in. What do we mean by buy? People buy into the leaders, then the vision. First they would look at you by your personality, they would be attracted, and then to the vision. The law of victory. Leaders find a way for the team to win. Try to create win-win situation. And when you achieve the first target, then you go for the second, and every time your followers uh, uplift, get victory, uh, they would be attracted to you more. The law of big move. Momentum is a leader's best friend. The law of priorities. You got to prioritize your things. Things that need to be done early should be done early. The law of sacrifice. A leader must give up to go up. Quite clear. The law of timing. Stitch in nine. We usually say that a stitch in time saves nine. The law of explosive growth. The primary job of leadership is to create new leaders. Explosive growth means that you keep on growing new leaders. The law of legacy. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. Here is a task for you, dear students. Use Maxwell Leadership Assessment Questionnaire for followers. Fill the questionnaire and calculate your score. You can easily download or from the following link. What you have to do after this lecture, you have to report me what is your leader follow what is your actually leadership level, and then we'll proceed further. And thank you very much, dear students, for listening me so patiently. I'm sure that you would enjoy this lecture, and hopefully this was the last lecture in the leadership series, and from now on we'll be moving to some other topics as well. Thank you very much.